I'm all for it.
I know. That's what surprises me. But I think it's
whatever.
As far as PR
I think
goes,
he just
yeah,
called you like kind of a chauvinistic bigot in a way there without actually saying it.
Not really. Hey, I'm one of the nice guys.
I know.
Don't let them label me, people.
It doesn't even make sense though. Like he knows you too well though, so it's kind of scary.
Well, he went to school with me since like second grade.
The hill that you will die on, it just makes me laugh. But no, it's a.
We won't get into that now.
We won't. But listen, from a PR standpoint, it's brilliant. I'm glad it's going off. I'm glad the storyline is actually catching some legs and people are supporting it. Because the NFL does have such a horrible track record as far as women go. We know this.
We have female coaches. We have female refs. Do it. It's at that time. Pull the trigger on it.
It's not that time, because you have to look at it from a practical standpoint. First of all, I can't tell you how many people have pointed out that she basically got a running start when a kicker takes like 3 steps at most before the kick is likely to be blocked. So there's that. On top of the fact that you're not just a kicker in the NFL. You, from time to time, have to make a tackle. And do you really want the highlight of the weekend to be Carly Lloyd getting stiff-armed through the turf as someone just runs faster for a touchdown?
I think she clings onto a defensive tackle's back after a fumble like a spider monkey, and she surprises us all and tackles him.
Oh, man. Listen, I mean,
Here's the problem, though. The Twitterverse and the internet universe, if anything were to happen, all the supporters that were 5 minutes prior to that incident happening and her breaking her leg or being severely injured in that scenario would immediately turn to their keyboards and condemn all the NFL officials that allowed her to be on that field to hell immediately. It's a no-win PR disaster for them if she steps on a field. Although I love that you support it, and I support the idea of it, but the actuality of it happening, I'm sorry, Dave, he is right. It's a PR no-win disaster. Her actually being in a live game on a roster doing this week in and week out.
Carly.
And I'm not saying I'm not about it. I'm not saying it's wrong and that she shouldn't get an opportunity. But what if a guy blocks a kick? I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios of her taking contact that, like I said, if it wasn't for the way the internet world works and how much of a PR disaster that would make it, I think this would probably happen a lot sooner because they would be more willing to take those risks. In 2019 going on 2020, it will never happen because businesses can be built and murdered because of the damn internet nowadays.
It blows me away. I mean, people's inability to take a step back and really think about what it takes to participate in these sports. Yes, women and men can compete against each other in sports such as billiards, bowling, darts, things of that nature. But come on,
tennis.
Biologically, men simply have an advantage in muscular build. It's proven time and time again through data.
Sexist bastards.
Listen, I know, and it's going to be thrown throughout the Twitterverse. Maybe we'll get good followers. Maybe we'll get bad followers. And I'll be the kill.
We'll see tomorrow if we lose 100 followers or gain 100 followers.
Exactly. And I've seen it. I've seen Billie Jean.
You mean like Doug Gottlieb with the Andrew Luck situation?
You guys, here is one that I would support. Here's a cross-gender contact sport that I believe would absolutely 100% be entertaining and would be even, right?
Jousting.
No. Oh, no, Dave, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised, and I know this. I know it because of the way we had to train to do this. MMA is absolutely, with the weight classes and the way they are, if you are into grappling and jiu-jitsu, it does not – you're a 135-pound man and a 135-pound woman. Trust me, that woman will knot you up and submit your ass because MMA and grappling and even striking in MMA – it's so avoidable to take large devastation if you're technically sound. And when it comes to grappling, dude, guys, I don't know if you know this, but grappling is all about technique. Strength helps you, but a woman, like, let's say, I would have loved to see Floyd Mayweather and Ronda Rousey get in a cage together. She would have absolutely beat the crap out of him, no doubt. Honest to God, I'm not crazy. She would.
I like Cyborg.
She would have whooped his ass. Honest to God, boxer. She would have avoided him like the Black Plague. And as soon as she got a hold of him, her technique was so good, he would have been broken and twisted in so many more. It would have been probably one of the fastest finishes in her career, and that's saying something. No shit. And I've come from 10 years of grappling with all types of different women, boxing, kickboxing. When it comes to MMA, dude, you can have in weight classes, you could have cross-gender, and it would not be as one-sided as these other sports where size.
You just took a boxer and put her in with an MMA guy. It's just like when Conor and fought Floyd in. Yeah, when you went and put Conor and Floyd in a boxing match, you took away Conor's game. You're taking away Floyd's game because all he does is box. He doesn't know how to do MMA.
Did you watch that fight? Conor threw that fight.
Yes, I did.
They paid him $150 million.
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Floyd Mayweather's game is easy to get over, and it's simple. And what the problem is he always waited to. I don't even want to get into this, man. You're getting me off track of football. I'm just telling you, she was not a striker.
Down the rabbit holes we go.
She was not a striker, dude, and he was, and therefore it's an even match in MMA. They do it all the time. What do you think they did when she lost to Holly Holm? She was a devastating. Now, if she would have got hold of Holly Holm, she would have broke Holly Holm's arms.
I can't get behind that.
Hey Dylan, can you do you have any more fantasy files? Let's get back out of these rabbit holes.
No, I can't get behind this because Jay, as an MMA participant, as a former fighter, you must know a particular fighter by the name of Fallon Fox.
Oh,
the transgender MMA fighter who beat the absolute hell out of all the women that currently came across.
Dylan, don't bring that subject
up.
We're not going to go down that. That's not even the same damn thing I'm talking about. Now you're talking about freaking taking pills and genetics and altering your freaking hormones.
Fever tranquilizers.
We don't know the goddamn results of all that. We're not going down it. That's not even the same comparison. I'm sorry. It's like I don't want to get into this political crap because it's going to expose a lot of things we don't want to get into.
Then let's get back to fantasy
files.
Not
anything to do with what we were just talking about, period. Because it's like you're medically altering.
No, that's striking men versus women.
Again, go on to fantasy files.
Hey, that's fair. So I wanted to talk about some preseason headlines that I want to take into consideration as we go into.
I'm ready for them.
Too many people write off the preseason as worthless. Let's do away with it. 4 games is too many. And maybe in that respect, I'll agree with you. We could probably use 3 games. But here's the conclusions that I have reached from this preseason that are relevant to fantasy. In San Francisco, there's been a lot of hype around Dante Pettis and the new draft pick, Deebo Samuel and Jalen Hurts. But when I watched the San Francisco 49ers this preseason, particularly in their 3rd game where Jimmy Garoppolo did not look absolutely horrible, he was targeting Marquise Goodwin a lot. Goodwin has the most experience out of those receivers. He was Jimmy Garoppolo's man all through training camp last year, and during the games he played last year, he was looking Goodwin's way. Goodwin has world-class track speed. You can look this guy up. He is an Olympic athlete, and he has a horrible track record. Excuse my pun,
a little bit
as far as injuries go. He can't stay on the field, but when he is an effective deep threat who can put up numbers in fantasy football. Just a few years ago, he was a very, very relevant name before the injury So keep your eye on Goodwin as we enter the regular season.
He looked good last year with C.J. Beathard. I mean, he had a huge night against the Packers on Monday Night Football last year, and we almost lost because of the fact that Goodwin was a beast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the guy, you think he's a one-trick pony with his deep routes, and then all of a sudden he's running comebacks, he's running big, he's all over the field, and I think that Jimmy G really trusts him. So when he's not looking Kittle's way, draft Dante Pettis, if you please. Take a shot on Deebo Samuel or Jalen Hurd at the very end of draft. But look Marquise Goodwin's way, too, in those later rounds when you're looking for a number 2 wide receiver that can help you out. Maybe not a number 2. Let me bump down my expectations. When you're looking for that wide receiver 3 or that flex play, Goodwin's a good guy to stick in there.
I'll write that down. I love Goodwin, but I always keep forgetting about him.
Yeah, easy name to forget about when you're not on the field. Availability is everything in the NFL, as they say.
You got any more headlines, brother?
Another conclusion I have reached is that Emmanuel Sanders of the Denver Broncos will be fine this season. Don't worry about the injury. Don't worry about the quarterback change. I think that Emmanuel Sanders looked great in their third preseason game. He took an end around for 19 yards. He caught a deep pass. Right, it was a beautiful bomb on the sideline that he turned around and tippy-toed his way inside for. I believe it was called back because of a holding penalty. But still, you can tell already that Emmanuel Sanders has the trust of Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is not historically known for putting up huge fantasy numbers. But if you're looking for another wide receiver 3, potentially wide receiver 2, I think Emmanuel Sanders is a guy to keep your eye on. A guy who, with Cortland Sutton on the team, who a lot of other fantasy guys are looking at as maybe a breakout candidate. I think people are sleeping on Sanders, and he could really help out your fantasy team this year.
I still can't believe he tore his Achilles last year. Like, you would think he never would have had it.
These guys are freaks. Adrian Peterson clearly set the bar pretty high with what he's able to do. But, man, the injuries that these guys are coming back from and how quickly these days, it's just unreal. Another conclusion I have reached from this preseason is that Marcus Mariota and Mike Vrabel will both be no longer a part of the Tennessee Titans in 2020. It's looked ugly in Tennessee. There's really no bright spots. I mean, the offensive line play has been terrible. You're not going to have Taylor Lewan for the first couple games.
That's a biggie. He's a stalwart. Yeah,
exactly. That's huge. And if you start off the season poorly, with the narratives that are running in season, if you're Marcus Mariota, you've got Ryan Tannehill breathing down your neck. If you're Mike Vrabel, your vaunted defense hasn't really stepped up to what you hoped it would be with all these draft picks, the names out there, and Kevin Byard and Jarrell Casey, and the team just doesn't look to be gaining any momentum. Draft picks like Corey Davis and A.J. Brown seem to be going to waste with the ball not coming their way. The only real receiving
A.J. Brown's talented too.
A.J. Brown's super talented. Adam Humphries is super talented, and he might be.
I wanted Humphries for Green Bay.
Oh man, that makes me think what could have been.
You think?
Could have gone to the Patriots. But he opted not to do that. But yeah,
Brady can't have two Edelmans at one time. Don't be selfish.
Okay, guys, not to be the rude guy in the room here or anything, but we are all way past our time where we were supposed to call our guest Julius, and we don't want to keep him waiting. So we should wrap this up pretty quick. I love you guys.
Fair enough. I was doomed through these.
I love you guys. I'm not mad. I love you guys.
Liar.
I'm just talking loud so everybody can hear me better.
We'll expand our conversation offline in the future so we can come to an understanding and no hard feelings on that. But let me zoom through these next few ones. Not digging deep. James Washington. Watch out for him in Pittsburgh. It might not be Moncrief. Look out for James Washington. The Ravens,
really?
Well, yeah. The Ravens will have a running back by committee. I wanted to believe in Mark Ingram as a 3-down back. Not going to happen. The Ravens are going to roll with a committee. Aaron Rodgers will throw more than 25 touchdowns this season.